All right, we are live here doing buddy team with Abdul, J, and Ulysses. And it is Tuesday, 25th April in Washington World. So live YouTube broadcast. We are still getting the doc sort of ready here. Kind of late behind schedule, but we figured we'd do a little broadcasting, get the documentation going for the screen. So let's see here. This is the link to the live video. This is the Hangout. This is the Hangout broadcast. Hangout link, and this is a link to live YouTube video. America's Double Team. Nope. It is this one. Boom. Okay. Let's send them the link. Here is the link to the live feed. You can also connect via audio with I guess I need to get onto the normal Hangout as well. So this would be W30 Global Calls to get how you get on all our global calls. The regular Google Hangout, and if we do a live, we'll link it there. We'll link it to the notes that we're working on. There I am. Hangout. All right. All right. So Ulysses and Abdul don't usually do the voice audio, but we always give it a try just in case. Mainly do Skype chatting. So one of the things we want to get set up is the IRC. So the IRC channel. I know we were working on this earlier today. Let's see what it was. This is Freenode, I think would be a good place to start. Let's see what happens here. So webchat.freenode. So nickname, let's say that it's me. Definitely human, authorized to services, yes. Channels. FQN. Huh. Wow. Oh, look, it's Mal. Hold and accept. Hey, Mal, how's it going?
Hey, I know it's late. I was actually on another line, so I'm on a later schedule. I know this is pretty late for me, but not that late. It's fine. I'm awake. I'm awake and excited that we're connecting. And yeah, so how are you?
Pretty good. Just multitasking a bajillion things, and I'm also chatting with some people online and trying to get our IRC set up and coordinate all the different activities and global activities and everything going on. But yeah.
Global activity. I just listened to your voicemail, by the way. So yeah, it sounds like you're juggling a bajillion things, and yeah, I'd love to hear more about it. And just like, I don't know, like there's no real point to this call other than just to check in with you and just kind of miss our weekly check-ins and, you know, so just to keep the ball rolling on certain things you need to check in about and vice versa, you know?
Yeah. And there's definitely, you know, Ulysses and Abdul, they don't really, you know, they're not on the audio, but they can hear us, just so you know. But Ulysses and Abdul are some other people that I've been working with for our global team that we're putting together, which is very exciting.
Abdul?
Their names?
And then what do you mean?
Abdul
Like,
and Ulysses.
Abdul.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Be able to get into the doc. So, yeah, man, wow, where to start? I guess the newest news is that I am now treasurer for the EXA.
EXA?
Or not EXA,
yeah.
but the Ecnot partnership, the one with all the Bitcoins. So I need to go to Oakland tomorrow and like work out all of that stuff, but it's basically like I'll be the one doing all of the payments now, so we can basically pay myself, you know. It's like, which will be easier instead of waiting a month to get paid, you know. So
you're the official treasurer of the EXA partnership?
Yeah, so the Ecnot partnership.
Ecnot partnership encompasses who?
EXA is a multi-organizational entity. It consists of 4 organizations currently. There's the Ecnot Partnership, which is the main one with all the money. And then there's the EXA Incorporated, which I'm also the treasurer. There's the EXA House, which I'm also the treasurer. And we have the Robinhood Cooperative.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, sounds cool. Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, congratulations on, it sounds like a promotion.
Not really. It's more like one of those unpaid additional responsibilities.
Oh, God, I know what those are like.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, yeah, I don't want to bring up world play. But yeah, how are things going with you? It seems like things are picking up a little bit.
About that, like Ethereum and Jorge, right? Is he still there? Is he working on it? And I remember, like, let's think back to, like, when I was last there, the winter solstice, there's some house politics, and then the money finally went through escrow. Like, are things, like, okay with, I just think about those guys that I had dinner with you, you know?
Yeah,
like,
Jorge's still going strong. Yeah, Jorge's still going strong, and everything's moving forward, and it's totally big time.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think just get more and more organized.
Sounds like it's full steam now.
Yeah, everything just gets more and more organized, and everything. So that's really good.
Okay, cool.
You know, the white papers are coming along, and then it's just a matter of like actually doing the coding and, you know, moving everything forward for the ICO. There is some discussion of trying to push everything back and get some more funding to push it all back. And there's some people interested in helping do that. So it's growing. You know, there's definitely a lot of interest. So we'll see where that all goes. And now I have help, right? So we have this new budget where we're getting help. So we have a new team here in the Americas, which is basically the you know, it's we're calling it the Andromeda team. Ooh. And so there's 4 people that are helping, you know, do all of this ridiculous amount of work. It's really insane. Like all the value tracking, we're overseeing like the entire payroll. We're overseeing like all the HR and all of the operations. It's like it's endless. So it's pretty. But I'm really glad that I'm finally not doing it by myself. I mean, I've been doing it literally by myself for like, you know, over 6 months, and so it's like finally I have some help, which is exciting. So
that's awesome. And this is separate from the marketing company that was hired, right?
Yes, I am not dealing with the marketing company, although I'm paying them. I have to write a check basically tomorrow. A Bitcoin check, right? One is going to be for $15,300, and the other one is for $17,500 or something like that. 17,200. I don't know. Anyways, it's just ungodly amounts of money that we're paying for, like, I don't know, but it's happening, and I'm writing the check because I'm the treasurer. But it's like, I didn't vote for it. But when you're the treasurer, it has nothing to do with what you want. It's basically what they tell you to do. So yes, got to make those payments as soon as possible. People are waiting on it to move things forward.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a lot, and that's just the first installment. So it's like it's over, I don't know, 30 plus. 30, it's like over $60,000-$70,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's good.
Hopefully it works out and everything happens and comes together, and then raise $1 million. That's the goal, or 2 or 3 million or more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely possible. So I'm excited about that, and I am I'm basically doing it nonstop. But yeah.
Yeah. Are they? Do you know how they are raising money? Just like curious, like Sally has a pitch deck, has a white paper, going to funders, or are they going to launch something online? Is it going to be on Angel Hack? Like, do you know like what they're doing? Or of course you do. I'm just wondering. Yeah.
Does who know who's doing? Say it one more time.
Oh no! Like, what are they? Where are they raising money at the moment? Just curious.
It's mainly through internal channels. So, through the investment relations, which we want you to be involved if you would like. Basically, you have people. There's all these New York channels, right? So there's this discussion about. All the money's in New York City, right? So there's all this discussion about this group called Blockfolio, right?
Okay.
And Blockfolio is they're basically they're trying to help people access all their wallets. So some people who have lots of money, they're like investing in like dozens of there's literally over 1,000 tokens now, like online tokens, right? So people are investing in like all these tokens, and so Blockfolio helps bring all of your assets for all of your different tokens that you purchase into a single, basically basket. Like, know how you can go to Wells Trade or Ameritrade or whatever, and you can have like all of your stock portfolio in one place.
Yeah, that makes sense with their name, like a folio. Yes. Yeah, they just kind of consolidate all of these things.
And they're the first company that's doing that for these tokens. Because right now people have just like a Bitcoin.
Even big. That's crazy.
I know. So you have a Bitcoin wallet, but then you have like 30 Bitcoin wallets. They're all separated. They're all decentralized. You can't access. You have to log into each one individually and have a spreadsheet and just track it all yourself. So this is like all automatic. And so what they're doing is they're all about working with ICOs to get them in their portfolio system. And so they want to go big or go home, and so they want to help, raise the funds to really make this as like a partnership to add dozens of more tokens to their portfolio systems, and that's kind of the direction that's going. So they have like the big time networks, and it's just a matter of like, approaching them and seeing how people want to fund it. There's a lot of difficulty with EXA where we've gone this very weird not weird direction, but different direction. And the main difference is that the main difference is that with a typical startup, you just want the money, right? So you would raise like $100,000. The people give you the money, and then kind of like, and then they're not really involved afterwards, right? They just they just own a piece of your investment. They get equity, right? And they're just not very involved. Like, and so the people that we know in New York are the type of investors that they throw down $100,000 on something, right? And it's like if you have enough money to throw $100,000 at something. That you don't even really know that much about. It's basically to the point where you're throwing $100,000 on like 10, 20, 30 different things. You know what I mean? And so it's like hard for them to be actively involved. And Excelli and other people, they're like, we don't want that kind of money. We want people who want to be actively engaged and involved as an econaut, create economic spaces, and like who are like actively engaged. You know, so it's
that's
like
the exact opposite. That's crazy.
It's totally insane. It's completely insane. It's like, what
are you kidding me? You
I
want to
know.
manage all of their opinions?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm like, we'll just take the money. You know what? We'll take it, right? So it's just kind of it's very, very strange. But I think nice. So I think it's yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So we'll see how that all goes together. But basically, he's like, all I need is, a little video, a little like pitch deck, and like pitch it to these people and like see what we can do, right? And Excelli's like, well, we need to schedule all these meetings and introduce them to everything and have them see how it all works. And it's just like, yes, somewhat, some of them will need to know that. But it's like at some level, maybe they just don't want as much involvement in the whole process. I mean, it's very complicated, Mel. And it's like the feedback we get from people are just like from this guy, Chris, he's in New York. He's the main guy, Chris, and this guy, Ed, right? Ed, are just like, I still don't even, they're like, we still don't even understand. They're like, we don't even understand. And we've been talking to you guys for like weeks, it's just like simplify
it. They don't understand.
They don't understand what they're doing after talking with them for like weeks. They get that it's important. They like it. They're really excited about it. They want to invest in it. They want to support it. But then they're like, okay, so what exactly are you doing again? And it's just like, they just don't, like, it doesn't click because it's so confusing and there's so many different branches. And there's so much different stuff going on that you can't even, there's like still no 30-second elevator pitch, Mel. Nothing.
I remember, like, it was like 5 minutes of
like it's nothing's ever changed. Yeah, it's totally exactly the same as it was.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, but on the other hand, it's just like Ben's stuff is all really confusing too, right? And it's hard for him to even explain it, what he does. It's crazy.
Well, but at least Ben's isn't as technical. Ben's is at least like, we're making a platform that, evaluates companies on their social activities. I mean, it's generally comprehensible.
No, and then there's like WorldPlay Ventures and the partnership with Reset.
Well, sure, but EXA is a million times more complicated because there's like 30 to 40 to 50 different interrelated economic spaces.
And I'm saying your stuff is complicated too. What is Innovative United?
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Of course. Like the Afghan Community Network is. But there's one huge difference about the Afghan Community Network and the other ones. And you know what the difference is, Mel?
Mm-hmm. What?
We don't give a damn. Like the whole purpose of the Afghan Community Network is not to sell us ourselves. We're here to support people and to support other organizations. So if you notice, like 99% of all the time, we don't talk about the Afghan Community Network. We talk about EXA and we talk about WorldPlay and we talk about, Good Cause Group and we talk about YHW or whatever, right? It's not about the Afghan Community Network. If you talk to Ben, you can't go 5 minutes without him, blah, 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 WorldPlay, scale chains, blah, 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 Like you talk to Excelli, It's impossible to even have him, to even bring up FQN. It's like he doesn't want to hear it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's the difference. It's like, yes, Afghan Community Network is has a lot going on and it's very broad and everything, but it's like, we're not trying to sell it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's in the back. It's all in the background. So what we do is just in the background to support other people and support individuals and help people's lives be improved. So the focus is Mel. Like, how do we sell Mel to the world and support Mel to be successful, not to sell us?
I don't know. Tell me.
I know. Tell me about it. That is why we need to help each other. It's really hard. It's like, how do we sell ourselves? How do we get support to like figure this stuff out so that we can all take care of each other? Is here more than 3 persons? Yes, technically
Yes.
we have 4 of us right now, but it is still within our buddy team. So yeah, here I'll show them how that works. So yeah, it's definitely interesting, but I'm still excited about it all.
Yeah, totally. Can you just wait 1 second? I'm gonna message someone real quick.
For sure.
On Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna show Ulysses and Abdul how we take notes with more than 3 people. So if we have, here we go, boom. Wait, no, it's not it. So buddy team. So at the top of here, so I need to get into this doc. Can I get into it yet?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. So at the wait, is it working? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so at the oops, buddy team. So at the top of this, we need to link over on the left side. We need to link our buddy team. So that. Oh, sorry, I'm talking to Ulysses and Abdul.
Oh yeah. Give me 1 minute because I think this is important for me too.
Okay, here I'll mute. Oh wait, no, I won't mute. Yeah. So
no, don't mute me. Don't mute me.
Yeah. So just you want to add in the link here so I can get to our buddy doc. And in the meantime, I will look for it somewhere else, like and okay. Oh, we need to add our new global teams. Global teams. So we want a new global team there. And then here, JS reconnecting. Copy, paste. There we go. Voila. And then I usually make this really small. This doesn't stand out. Okay, so then here we go like that. Well, you guys should already have linked today. So I think we're missing a lot of notes here. So this is another task that we can do. So tasks. So link all of our buddy team notes to here. So today is, what is missing? Question mark. So today is Monday, April 25th. Actually, it's Tuesday, 2017. And I'm going to go ahead and link our current buddy notes here, like that. And then we just put here, we'd say with mouse. So so it's like the same buddy team with the 3 of us, but we just add Melon on the side.
Wait, okay. I'm not listening, right? I'm not listening, right?
Well, you can hear me, but you can't hear them because they're not on audio.
Okay, yeah. No. I was wondering if you wanted me to pay attention to what you were saying.
No, I'm talking to Abdul and Ulysses. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. Who's paid asynchronous data you have entered may not be saved. Maybe no topic set. Set topic. Interesting. Test. Change the topic. I'm trying to get Trying to get the ICQ set up, or IRC, yeah,
Oh,
IRC
okay.
chat. I'm not really sure how
Yeah.
IRC chat works just yet. Playing around with it.
So if I were to work with you guys with Excel, because Jay, I'm at a. Oh, wait, you're talking to them. Wait, you can't talk to me, right?
They can hear you, but it doesn't. It's fine. Like, we just can't hear them because they're not on audio. But they're working on getting their audio set up for future sessions. But chatting seems to work better.
I am so confused by that.
I know it's very very confusing, but it's yeah, it's just what it is.
It is what it is. Well, it's good to chat with you. I give me 1 second, and then I just gotta walk real quick. Hold on. Okay, so
it doesn't look like IRC chat is going to work. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. So the I guess. Wait. So I guess the update on Another World is that everything's on hold pending further funding. That's it. That's
It's very silly.
Right?
Oh my god! It still boggles my mind, the idea of getting $15,000. Or no, 30? Is it 30? And then just this all gone in like 2 weeks, like 3 weeks?
No. 15 was blown in 2 weeks. So, and then we got another 15, 8 of which covered expenses. And then so we actually do have an operating budget of about $8,000 to further fundraise, and it's actually looking good. It's it's just he has meetings lined up with 2 very very interested investors in Santa Barbara and then LA respectively.
Oh, cool! That's exciting. I hope to meet up with him when he comes through.
Well, that's Southern California, though, Santa Barbara and LA. But and then maybe we'll go to if things turn out well, the Bay Area. But I mean, there's a lot of talk, These people are interested in changing the world, and they have millions. And then so did Tara, and no, Tara capped it at 30K. So it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
And then actually, I do know that she did have a capacity for 100, and that was her initial commitment. It's just that she had too much of a say. It was like her passion project hobby, and she was like dictating every move, and so I mean, it's not ideal for an investor to have that much creative and infrastructural control over your project. So yeah, that's why I think it's crazy, to desire that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't even know what's going on. I mean, it was never even clear or expressed to me as far as like what her relationship was. But the main thing is that you just create, like, when you don't bring people together, you create like this mirage of decentralization, right? And it's not real. It's like, oh, everyone's going and doing their own thing. It's totally decentralized, but it's like actually not decentralized. Everything's going through a single person, specifically in this case, David, right? And so It's all bottlenecked. It's all bottlenecked and centralized into a single person, and everybody's like spoked out and fragmented and separated, and there's no communication, there's no clarity, there's no accountability, there's nothing, right? So if there's nothing there that holds anyone together, then what is actually happening? It's like nothing's happening, nothing moves forward, right? So like for me, the most important thing as far as like building a socially conscious environmental community based organization is to be human, right? To treat each other as humans and to connect to each other as humans. And, you know, I'm big time into not doing it in person. I mean, meeting in person is great, but it's just like only rich and basically, you know, rich white people who have lots of time and money can, you know, travel across the world to go meet up, you know, to change the world, right? It's like ridiculous. So if like we're going to be doing this with any kind of real budget, it's you know, you got to meet online, right? So you just got to get everybody on the conference call or the video conferencing, you know, or the chat or whatever, and like at the same time, and have equality between the people to have open discussion. You know, Tara needs to be there if she wants to be involved. You come to the meeting, otherwise you give up your say. You know, and then it's like you have everybody there together, so then everyone's on the same page at the same time, making decisions together, collaborating, communicating, holding each other accountable, and then it's like much more contextual, you know. So
yeah, the closest thing you saw was that last group email where he kind of looped at what seems to be appearing as the core team, and you know, he even brought up his emotional psychology, his leadership style, and you know, it's weird because that there has been a lack of meetings. Like people will have side meetings. Like there's a diversity team. There's you know, marketing genius team. There's like, you know, like me and you doing bank stuff, and there's like people doing other things, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like a cohesive unit because it's siloed. And then investor relations, him and Tara was like in my department, then it was in his department, and then it's just like now it's like front off, and it's just him and her now. So it's very and then it's in this girl's court. It's so yeah. I mean, to organize that, like, I mean, what do you suggest? What do you suggest? Like, I'll probably talk to him tomorrow. Like a big group meeting where everyone talks, or like everyone is kind of responsible for, or is only interested actually in specific roles too, you know?
Well, I think that's a really good question. Like so we know that there's like 15 people involved, right?
So, however many people were in the email thread, let's say 15, 20. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15, 20 people. So basically, you know, there's two ways to go. One way is like, you know, this idea of this council or whatever that's being discussed, right? This rotating council, right? I can't remember exactly how many people he said, but you could say, okay, if there's 20 people, there's going to be a rotating council, and there'll be 5 person on the council at a time. Then you have, you know, 4 months of 5 people each, and it would rotate, you know, every whatever, or maybe you have 5 people and just 1 person shifts every month, right? So if you put the first 5 people on, and then you have 15 people who aren't on the council, and then it would rotate and choose 1 other person every month. So you would have 15 months of the council with the 20 people, right?
Dude, brilliant. And you have an idea, and I know David's leadership style now. If someone raises their hand, which is like, I'll put this together. Like, I have an idea. If you have I know you're juggling a lot. If you have the capacity and want to do this and want to suggest a payment for you, or like you know, like an amount that it would be worth your time and supportive to you to do this, we can reallocate the budget. You know, so that like making this council is like a priority, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that would basically be considered a meeting and board support, and it's a lot of work to convene a council and like coordinate it, write the bylaws, write all the, you know, coordinating systems. You know, typically that would be valued at a few, you know, $1,000, but you know me, I would do it for like a couple hundred, right? So.
Well, no, you should do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have very limited, $8,000 is a very limited budget. I mean, and then the other discussion is, are we still going to be doing the, you know, the trademark? Is that still in the works, or are we just postponing that?
Yes. Let me, tomorrow, or you can move forward with just transferring money to yourself. I could do it. Do you want me to do it? I can do it now. I'm awake.
Based on the email that me and David had, it was you were required to do it.
Okay, so then I'll do it tomorrow. But
And it's
but
info at
I know it's
innovateunited.net.
huh?
Info at innovateunited.net.
Info. Is it something that you've already PayPal'd like
No.
yourself before in that account?
Wait, PayPal?
I'm sorry.
I thought we don't
Quick
have a
Chase
PayPal.
Pay. No, quick Chase Pay.
No, I have not used Quick Chase Pay yet for it. So
Okay. Can you text that to me, or is it in my email thread?
It's probably in there. I can just email you right now. Do you want me to shoot you a quick email? Okie dokie. All right, done.
All right, cool. So then I'll do that tomorrow. So that's in the works. And
so do you want me to put a proposal together about setting up the structure?
Yeah, I think so. And
so
then
here's the other option. I told you one option. That was one option. The other option, right, which I think is also perfectly reasonable, is you just take all 20 people, you ask everybody who's interested, right? And then you bring them all together, and then the people who are interested, and then you appoint a board or whatever, or he just directly appoints a board.
Yeah, I think we're almost there, and I think that's gonna be attractive. One, because it's like he wrote out that email like bleeding his heart. Really, I thought he was really honest with it, and he needs help. And then so he's not an operations guy. He clearly said at the end of the email that his two weaknesses was funding and operations. And me and you happen to do ops. And so it's just like, you're like, hey, I can help in that area. He's hoping that people will raise their hands with certain areas to help. And I'm like, well, there's a bunch of viable grants that I've identified. Like, I could help out with that. And he was just like, submit a budget and we can work that in, and then, or he can probably get more funding from Tira. And then with you, it's just like, if you do that and have a proposal, he could probably run it by Tira again. It was just like the 100K after looking at it, I think it was too much for her, but she does have the capacity, Yeah. And is going to be involved. Like, they're meeting again in LA, and it's really exciting to be a part of this. And the two people, I mean, who knows? It sounds amazing that, that they're pretty wealthy. They're super supportive. They're friends with a bunch of people in the project. It sounds like more funding is coming, but it's early stage, and I don't want to blow it up,
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, who knows until it's in the bank account. And the first thing David says is like, now I know not to get excited about anything until it's in the bank account. Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's true.
Yeah, the money's got to be in the bank before you do anything with it. That's for sure. So let's see. So Innovate Another World.
It's very confusing though, Jay. I was with this woman when she verbally committed to it several times, and she was the cutest older lady ever, with spunk and tons of energy. She's amazing, and she's full of love, and and she just had some emotional stuff go around it. So it's just it was very convincing, even to me.
Well, when she said that she was going to donate or invest $100,000?
Yeah, totally. I met with her. She was like, yes, it's all good, but verbal commitments don't mean anything, because it's just someone's mood, I think.
Seriously, it's a lot. It's just who knows what people think, why and when. It's just and why then. And the other thing I don't understand is why is one project so good and people throw billions of dollars at it, and then another project it's nothing, right? And it just doesn't make any sense what gets funded and what doesn't. Like one of the things that drives me more nuts than anything is this whole idea of, the whole how people are hired, that you have like one like job position, like 1,000 people apply, and like this whole interview process. It's just very silly, Mel. And I think the same thing's true with the grant applications, and the same thing is true with how people invest. It's all crazy. And then they start investing, right? And then it's like everyone just floods and invests all the money where all the money's already going. So it's like pointless at that point.
Oh yeah, no, it's all a game, and there are, yeah, it's really crazy.
We definitely need to get back on track with like focusing on just actual value, and value tracking, and like we actually started. I can show this on the screen while I'm doing it. By the way, this is all on my screen's on YouTube right now.
Oh.
So today we started doing all the value tracking. So we have here, this is the weekly value tracking reports. We have the simple reporting form. All the people within EXA, they fill it out once a week. And this is part of what we're hired to do, right? So we are hired to make sure that we actually get every single person to tell us how much work they did and what they did for the week, right? And their deliverables. So from there, that goes into a spreadsheet where, we send out a bot announcement, right? That just a reminder, right? That's automatic. And then, it's like, did they fill it out or not? Like half the people fill it out right away and the other half don't. So then we do an individual message to everybody to remind them on Monday. So that goes out on Friday. On Monday, we remind them. And then half of those people fill it out. And so now we're in the process of personally emailing each of them. And like, we're going to have to call them and bug them. So, and then once you get all that information, then it goes into the value tracking. So you put exactly how much time each person did, and then who's missing, and like you can actually see the values start to accumulate week by week. People are working like 30, 40, 50, 60 hour weeks. They're actually creating value. So it's pretty cool, and we're tracking it all.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that value tracking is like amazing, and I think another world's gonna need that, and like. Yeah, totally. And I think you'd be great for it. And it was just like, I don't want to, you never know. But these investors are like teasing it. They're just like, if we made it on, like, if you had $100,000 and, if we raised $100 million like in a week, are you physically, like legally, financially, structurally ready? And the answer clearly is no.
For what? Are you talking about Another World?
For Another World. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because the value tracking in place is like the council, the board, like, is it even incorporated? Like, So it's interesting. I think we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
No, but I think if you suggest to the council, I think that's a good step. And then you could even throw in the value tracking, because that's something investors want to see, I think. These types of investors want to see. So
they want to see the value tracking?
Yeah, I wouldn't hold back from submitting a proposal to him in response to this email. So that's my update with you. So
you do want me to submit the proposal?
Yeah, I don't think it could hurt. I think it's out there if you have the capacity to do it, and know that this is all. If it's workable within the $8,000 budget, great. If it's not, these meetings are lined up in the next week or two. So if
what meetings?
You know that, like,
what meetings?
These pledges, like. Two meetings with potential investors. Like,
okay.
Hot investors that have been cultivated 3 times now. One was in New York, and then we had someone meet with him in SF, and now he's going to a conference with Kira and David in LA. Like, he's hotly cultivated.
Nice.
And
Very good.
He's loaded.
So
it's just a matter of like, if now is the time to submit these proposals. So like, if the money hits, maybe it doesn't hit, but if the money hits, you're like, hey, you're the guy for value tracking. You're the guy to set up these meetings, you know? Yeah. And
wait. So I've already submitted multiple proposals on like doing all the operation stuff, which includes the value tracking. So you want me to do another one of those?
Well, did it include all of that?
Yeah, not to mention I've already said multiple times to David and everybody, including you, that I would be willing to take on all of that for back pay. It's just I'm not willing to do anything without an agreement. And the problem is that there's just no agreement on anything. It has nothing to do with the money. I don't care about the money. For me, it's not about the money. It's about professional business to business relationships. For me, it's about being professional. So there's no agreement on the table. So anyway, so the point is I can do another proposal for the operations, but I think what you're saying here is not to worry about that. I mean, if you want, I could do another proposal for that, but I could definitely do a proposal for the structure for Another World. I mean, that's what I do that's like my main thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just that I don't think anyone is serious about any of this, and they weren't thinking HR until like there's more funding. No one's like, okay, yeah, like they're not. There's so much pressure on getting it funded, right now that it's like.
I think everyone's head's in the clouds, dude. It's like, I mean, like when I hear the number $30,000, like there's no money. What? There's tons of money, and then there's like you're saying there's $8,000 in the bank. I mean, that's tons of money.
It's gone.
I thought you just said there's $8,000 working budget.
Yeah. There's $8,000 now of the 30.
That's pretty much like $8,000 more than I have, right? I mean, are you kidding me? That's tons of money compared to like dealing with all this stuff. I mean, I don't know. I just think that people's heads are in the clouds. They're like, oh, it's nothing unless we have $100 million. It's like, oh my God.
You have no idea. It's like, I know the way they're operating is insane. Who throws like a $25,000 event? Who does that? Why do we need kombucha there? Why do we need like a violinist? And why do we need like
Okay, so as long as we're on the same page, that is just total shenanigans. Okay, so total shenanigans. $8,000 is more than enough money to run like an organization for a freaking year.
I know, but I come from the nonprofit space. Like
yes, well, I do too. Yeah.
Like corporate other world where like they usually have crazy budgets, and so this isn't enough for anything. But he's getting that feedback maybe from one other person, the only other Black person on the team. No offense, but that's the reality. Who is just like, you can run this very slim, And
we're dealing with the same thing with Exa and Exceli. Like we had this amazing conversation on Sunday. It was all recorded and everything. It was just about how like, I said it perfectly when I said the most important thing that we've talked about in the last 2 hours is where our friend Pekka, right, said that, if we raise $1 million, it's still like no money at all. Like it's such a small amount of money compared to what we're trying to do. And then we're sitting here talking about how we have a $300,000 budget and we just blew $150,000, right? On like the video, on the video and the freaking, and the Greenstone thing, like the whole marketing stuff, right? The whole branding, marketing and brand. I mean, it's crazy to spend that kind of money. Everyone's just like, what just happened? And it wasn't even like a decision that was based on like, just the dialogue. No dialogue. No, it was just all emergency, urgent decisions. Like everything has to go, and we just signed a contract that we don't even understand, and it's just like, oh my goodness.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And right, and like me, I'm like Mr. Legal and Mr. wanting to check all the dotted lines and dot all the T's and I's and like double, triple, quadruple check everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even get a copy of the contract until after it's supposedly signed. And I haven't even seen the final contract that was even signed in the last place. I mean, it's like, what was even signed? It's like, oh my God. It's just insane now.
Crazy.
Yeah, and this is why, and this is really important for like, everybody out there, including Ulyses and Abdul. Like, this is why I keep saying, Mel, like we spend so much time working for other people's projects. If we just like come back and like do our own stuff, like focus on Good Cause Group, focus on the FCON Community Network, focus on title, and fish tank or whatever, and just like do things professionally and organized, right? Just like take it slow, step by step. The investors will just fall in line and they will just salivate at our heels. I mean, I'm telling you, like, the world is so unorganized and so all over the place, and people are literally like spinning in circles. If they actually see something and like, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do, if you are organized and professional, they will support it.
That is a radical thought.
I don't think it's that radical. I just think that, like, the way that the world works and the way that everything is functioning right now is that it's all based on, impulse, right? It's all impulse buy, in the moment, on the napkin, just get that $100,000, get that $1 million, and then just run with it. And then it's just like 1,000,000 miles an hour, 1,000,000 miles an hour, 1,000,000 miles an hour, and everything just collapses. It's like, what is it? 97% of all the businesses collapse, right? That is not how you start a business, Mel. You start a business, with working with whatever budget you have, making a sound budget. I don't care if it's $100 or $1,000 or $1 million. You make a sound budget. You create your payroll systems and your organizational systems and your decision-making systems and your architecture for your legal, your structure, right? And you just follow the rules and you go step by step by step, and you just slowly, and the whole goal is that, like, your goal is to be responsible for people's lives, right? Like, if we're going to pay people and we're going to actually, like, have enough money to budget staff and, like, and resources, like, that means your goal is to literally be responsible with people's lives, like their actual lives, like their ability to pay rent, to eat, to house themselves, to travel. I mean, like it's crazy, the idea that you would make anything that would be the goal to have people reliant in their lives, their basic life needs, on whims and, mystical impulses. I mean, that's literally like lunacy at every level.
Well, we generally, as the research report, just proves that we do live in a sick society, and people are driven by impulses. We see the investor habits of Silicon Valley and New York too. Like, it's insane. Like, people have these disposable incomes and invest. And do we really need another video app? Do we really need another, I don't know, like, convenient kitchen appliance? Whatever. Like, no, we don't. Like, people aren't logical. They're not thinking about climate change. They're not thinking about causes. They're not thinking about that. And so I guess that's why I say it's like a radical idea to assume that people would be attracted to something logical and not sexy and impulsive. Although obviously,
but I think that
both,
I think it kind of misses my point, though. Because I think my point is not that we want to sell logic, right? And I haven't called Dr. Logic before.
Okay. Okay, not logic, but you say slow, steady, reasonable, manageable, clear, organized. It sounds logical. That's what. But you never use that word. You're right.
No, it is logical. But the point is that the point I'm trying to make is that that's not what you're selling, right? What you can still have a campaign and a sales message and do an impulse campaign and an impulse based, target audience. For example, when me and you talk about the proper professional way to engage in an investor relationship, there's 3 meetings, you do the connection, you do the offer, and then they either take it or they don't, and then you walk away, right? Just like any volunteer.
Yes.
That is the professional, correct way to approach and connect with an investor, right? So in that context, like, you can present your portfolio, like not your portfolio, but your presentation, right? Your pitch deck and your one pager and like your prototype or whatever, right? You can present that in the context of, like, your 30-second pitch and like your whole thing, and you're trying to make it, an impulse. I mean, they have one chance, right? Out of 3 or whatever, and it's like, but the reason why you're successful is not because of that particular impulse. It's because you're going to do it 100 times. Right?
No, right.
And so, and the reason you're able to do it 100 times is because you're organized and you're professional and you have all your ducks in a row, right? So, and you have your support network, right? You have the whole thing set up and connected to make it functional, right? So in that context, my point is not that we're selling logic. My point is that it doesn't matter if the impulse of the investor happens tomorrow or happens 3 or 4 or even 5 years from now. The point is that from this instantaneous moment right here, when we are talking and connecting and listening and being, right, to the next moment, to tomorrow, to 5 years from now, when they actually put down the $1 million or more, right? It's all one continuous moment of consciousness. So okay. If we're gonna have, so my point is that right now, in the way I talk, we have $1 million. We have more than that. Right? I personally, as treasurer, have direct access to literally push buttons on my computer, and we're overseeing $400,000 to $500,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
not legally, but I know personally, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't go and spend that money, but the point is that, like, between me and you, Mel, right? Between the two of us, and that's just two of us, we could easily have a list of 50 multimillionaires.
Yeah, I know.
Easily.
I know.
Okay, so and that's a minimum. Like, it could easily be over 100, right? If we put like a little effort into it. So my point is that it doesn't matter if we get the investment in 6 months or 8 months or a year from now or 2 years from now, or, like I said, 5 years from now. The point is that it's if we are organized and we get our shit together and we are, actually do things in a constructive, coherent way, it's inevitable that eventually we're going to get the money, not because we're being logical, but because we're just doing what is required to run a professional organization or business.
Okay, yeah. All right, that resonates, and
so it's like the idea that you don't have your payroll system set up, and that you don't have your finance system set up, and that you don't have anything set up until you have $1 million is completely wrong on every single level, right? I don't care if you have $100 budget, you get your budget organized and you have a plan for how you're going to run your business, because in 2 months down the road or 5 months down the road, maybe you'll have $1,000, and so you want to have a clear plan and perspective, So anyways, I mean, I think I've said enough on it, but for me, it's just important.
It's beautiful. No, I clearly agree, but I feel like we're both off people, and we see that.
But we're not practicing it, though.
Not in another world, and I can't because I don't have that agency, right?
Well, I know, but even with
it's always up to the consciousness and the integrity and the leadership style of the CEO. And
yeah,
he feels like,
but I'm just talking about me and you, Mel, or like if we had 4 people or whatever. Okay. Like, it's just like, like, for me, I'm all about democracy, and I'm all about the two of us coming to agreement and making consensus on a decision. Right? That's a professional business-to-business relationship, is coming to agreement and consensus between 2 businesses to make an agreement to move something forward and build partnerships, right? And then from there, you like step it into like a plan. Like, I mean, the way that me and you function is simply just not professional. I mean, the way that we treat and interact with Brian has not been professional, right? And over the last couple months, right? And so so it's just like, and then we don't ever talk about like our own investor relations. Like, we very, very rarely, so it's like, I feel like we could do at least, we do maybe like 10 to 15% of what needs to happen to be successful as an organization or business, But But anyways.
I agree.
Yeah.
No. And it's like, well, we have engaged in it in what it, sending the proposal for a good cause group. We have these meetings. I am there in attendance. I am, been there, I don't know if more than any other individual since 2006, right? So like showing up and volunteering and partnering with you in that time. But since, if you're like, basically since Charity Hack titled, I did Fish Tank, and just like really taking good cause group to the next level, you know, that really shifted everything. And I would really like to clean up whatever arrangement we have with Maestro, for sure. Like, I think you emailed him last time. We should have a conversation about that. Like, emailed him last time, should we have a meeting? He didn't have faith in Adrian, and then that just kind of fell off. Like, you know, there wasn't a time confirmed because he was traveling. No fault on anyone, but like, I guess one of us could, you know, confirm that up. But like, I'd love to have like professional relations with you, and we were doing weekly calls. I'm in a defensive state right now because it's like, but no, I'm just like trying to understand like what I'd love to know is like, what do you really want to move forward on everything? And I feel like I'm also doing it just before you talk, like on another level. What I'm beginning to understand is that title is like like merging with another world. I feel like I came out with title and then expressed it to you. We have all these video recordings, we have all these notes, and we have this, you know, deck and like, you know, this business plan I started writing up, and you know, so these 10 pages, and a development plan actually. Like I put in a lot of work, and I feel like if something was missing personally, and then I went out and I found, like, I searched into him and I searched in New York City. I've been networking, and maybe that sounds like crazy, but I feel like another world and title may actually be the same thing. And by doing this, we merge it and merge relations. Like we're all going towards the same goals, like raising human consciousness, gathering investors. Why not collaborate with it? So that's where I'm at with like title. Like I'm wondering, right now I'm in front of a laptop, whether or not I should write a grant for title or I should write a grant for another world, and to the same investor. And which one would be stronger? And if I can merge the two, it would be strongest. So what do you think?
If you think you have a higher probability of getting it by merging the two, then I would do that. Whatever you think is the highest probability of getting it. So when you say it's strongest, then that sounds like the best. But, you know, I think overall you're 100% right that Another World, in terms of its vision, is basically the marketing branch of title, of the FQN Community Network, of everything, of the whole cause of what we're doing. And so I think we're on the same page. I mean, the way that I see it is that that Another World literally is part of the FQN Community Network. We're sponsoring, you know?
Isn't that crazy? I feel like it's what you've been doing your whole life and what I envision too. But it's just like it's one branch. And even David knows it's one branch. It's not his whole vision. He has, in his own words, an FQN network. And I have my own words, an FQN network. It's just this global thing that I think we're all meant to work on together.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. But the key word there is the together part. And that's where I feel like I'm just totally missing. Like what does together mean? If you're rich, it seems to mean flying all over the world at my own abode. You know, like Ben flies all over. I'm going to go to South America. I'm going to go to India. I'm going to go here and basically talk to whoever I want to. And it's like, you know, but if you're poor, it's basically sitting by yourself at home because you can't travel anywhere and like you're not interacting with anybody. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's very, very odd, the idea of togetherness, you know? So it's like, for me, doing this together is getting on phone calls at the same time, regularly scheduled meetings, and communicating and treating each other like human beings. And that's just not happening.
Oh, you're right. You're completely right about that.
Like, it's just all like, if you're rich and you have money, go travel the world, then we just don't care about anyone else. And that's what's happening. And it's bullshit, you know?
Yeah. And so, you know, David's not rich. He's completely in debt.
Well, sure,
Like, you know?
sure, but his mentality is like, I don't care if you're rich or not, the mentality can be the same thing. You know? So like in some people that maybe that's why they're in debt, maybe that's why they're not rich anymore. Like, you know, Excelia, whoever, like people who are just used to just blowing so much money because they had tons of money, then maybe that's why they're in debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. That's exactly why the agency just literally spent over half their budget. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. It's like, why do you think? Yeah, I know. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I have another call with this guy who, in Hong Kong, who apparently only has 15 minutes now.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go,
like,
but my primary goal is basically having a list of priorities of what we'd want to go over. For example, you know, Brian, right, and Maestro, as well as like, you know, whatever else we want to talk about, and then to schedule a meeting and to do it and to make it happen. You know, and that would be my top priorities as far as like, you know, having a list of what our priorities are, what we want to achieve, and then scheduling a meeting and then going into it with that goal specified and then having it happen. And for me, it would be actually eventually getting a regularly scheduled meeting. You know, I don't even care if it's once a month or once every 2 months. It's just like, it's just, you know, there needs to be some sort of pattern. And the goal is to have a group of at least 4 or 5 people who are holding each other accountable, because otherwise there's no accountability.
Right.
And I think that's a perfect example of why a, you know, one person running a one person show is not a business, and a business requires accountability because you're talking about people's lives. You shouldn't have dozens, if not hundreds of people, you know, in their entire paychecks and their ability to pay their families and feed and house their families and their children to be based on the whims of just some random one individual person who may want to just like blow and cut everything in one day just because of an impulse. It's just insane.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
That's
cool.
why you have
these calls more regularly.
Well, no, I'm not talking about more regularly. I'm talking about a specified time on a regular time frame that has to happen, and everybody's accountable to each other to be at that meeting and to, you know, have clarity on not just talking about fun issues, but basically taking care of people's lives, because that's the foundation of the business. It's like people are getting paid and they need that money to be able to live. Yeah. So anyways, I'll let you go because you have your call to Hong Kong, but it's always a pleasure, Mel. Always a pleasure. Big hug, lots of love.
He's only available for another 15 minutes. He's like teaching or something, but I can call you back afterwards if you're available. Otherwise, I would love to talk about Maestro and other things with you, you know? Yeah,
well, let's just schedule a meeting. Like I'm it's pretty late right now. I gotta go
it's really late.
James, and it's just so
let's just text for tomorrow, okay?
Okay, I'll text
like a time tomorrow, and then there's 2 client calls this week. I'd love to talk to you. You know, and I sent you an LOI. If you could read that, that'd be amazing.
All right, and the earlier you can get it in my calendar and let me know about it, the better. But I should be able to make it work.
Wednesday at 7. Wednesday at 7 for the client call, and then
7 p.m.
Read the LOI if you can.
Did you say 7 p.m.?
I'm sorry, 7 my time.
All right, so it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, that should work.
Wednesday. Yeah.
All right, I will add that in. It's right at the beginning of our buddy team again. I like it. Wednesday at 4. So this is a Mel. What did you say? It's a sponsored project or what?
Yeah, I'll send you the details.
Okay, cool.
It's with a client who wants to talk about fiscal sponsorship. So yeah, all right.
All right, I will talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye, ciao.
All right, later.
Yeah. All right, so I'm signing off here, guys. That was a good update to hear some of the other things going on. Mel is pretty awesome. She's been involved for like over 10 years. And she's on the board of the nonprofit. So she's one of the higher level folks. So this is all looking good. Got all that done there. What else do we need to do here? I want to make sure that at the bottom of this that we update the rest of our conversation here. That's important. And this can go away. Link to the YouTube videos no longer live after I stop it. And then we might see Mel again on your Thursday morning, my Wednesday night. What's this? Okay. Jeez, look at this workshop. I'll go cults. Wow. Cool. All right. We are good. Kidoki. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.